Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Zion and Gas and the email sent out by John Brown earlier this afternoon. Zion closed right under 7%, down to 13 cents. We've been talking about how we thought that it was going to go back down to 10, and we're on the right track. Okay, so as you saw right there at right at 3 o'clock, it just dumped off. But then we got this email from old Johnny John at about 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm going to go ahead and read through that, kind of give my thoughts on it, and we'll go from there. So the Bible is filled with miracles that should give us faith to believe in whatever God tells us to do by faith. My journey began back just after I was saved in January 1981, and a few months later, God sent Jim Spillman to Zion Temple in Clawson, Michigan, to teach on the oil of Israel. 3 days later, he taught us the scriptures, which led us to his book being written entitled The Great Treasure Hunt. This book was eventually sold all over the USA and the world. At that point in time, I wasn't, as a new Christian, too sure if all this was true or not. So over the next 3 years, in May of 1983, I was miraculously sent to Israel with Holger Wolf to meet a longtime friend named Andy Sorrell. While in Israel, God gave me a dream about the oil in Israel, and the scriptures confirmed it in Acts 2, verses 16 through 19. And many years after, I was told by God to write Zion's vision book, which was all based on scriptures that God gave to me, Jeremiah 32, to share with others. So I felt led today to send you all an update to remind and encourage you that God's timing is always perfect. An example, I never dreamed that the journey that I was on by faith was to learn to wait on God. And he says, it's been over 40 years so far to see the miracle of the oil being found in Israel. But I believe that we will see the miracle in Israel happen soon. And why? Because it is his promise to both Moses and Jacob and to Israel. Since God called Rob Dunn, Zion's CEO, many physical miracles have happened to Zion, one after another, to encourage all of us in Zion to continue to believe that God's blessings from Zion are not limited to human resources available. Also, a new book will soon be written and published by Jim's son, Steve Spillman, which will be titled Zion, A Journey of Faith. So keep in mind, the company was created by God and not me, and all those skeptics and non-believers are going to see and hear about all the oil being found according to the Bible. Keep in mind that all the great works of God always came through by faith. Every miraculous work always begins with an act of faith by stepping out to believe and trust in God. This is a display of our faith in God's faithfulness and ability to perform as miracles as proof of how great God is. Remember that God always tries our faith so that we can try his faithfulness. Shalom, John Brown. Okay, guys, so they proved me wrong. I didn't think we were going to hear from them at all for like at least 3.5 to 4 weeks, maybe longer. So, the email, at least that was some type of, attempt to communicate with shareholders. So a couple things that kind of stood out to me was this part here. Since it's been over 40 years so far to see the miracle of oil being found in Israel. So I'm like, was he telling us that it's happening, it's happened, we found it, yada, 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 which I think we kind of already know that they've found something. And the last update kind of confirms that they're trying to basically test to see if it's commercially viable. So they have something down there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then down here where it says, all of those skeptics and non-believers are going to see and hear about all the oil being found according to the Bible. So, is he telling you like, hey, it's coming, the news is coming, or is it just kind of another email where I have a lot of faith that it's going to happen, but I have no proof type deal? And at this point, it kind of feels that way. I mean, I appreciate the email, and it could have been a lot worse, because you've had some where he comes out and says something and you're like, oh crap, and the stock's going to fall even further. I think this would actually may push it up a little bit tomorrow. Not 100% sure, but I mean, it seems pretty positive. But still, you know, not trying to be negative, but if you have something, then why not just tell us what you have? I guess is what I'm getting at this point. But anyway, overall, I'm kind of glad to hear from them. I'm glad they didn't just completely ghost us for the next 3 to 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks. And yeah, so I'm hoping that, you know, things do go a little bit quicker, and that I'm wrong on my time frame of when we may get some type of announcement or news, and that they come out and shock us, kind of like the email shocked me today. I was like, oh, look, we get an email from Zion just randomly. So yeah, so currently at 13 cents. Like I said, it could maybe come up and pop a little bit up tomorrow. It's about 14, maybe 15, who knows. But overall, I still kind of feel like we're going to go down to 10 cents. Just technically speaking, we broke below that that support level, and I do feel like we're going to continue to come down, even with our little occasional spike move to the upside. I think we continue to pull down. We find a bottom at 10, and I think that's where we kind of settle and just wait for the testing results, which at some point they're going to have to give us, right? I'm thinking. So we've been saying for months it's going to be this month. Oh, it didn't happen this month. It's going to be next month. Didn't happen that month. It's going to happen again. So here we go. We're on the November. Now we're shooting for November. And that's kind of typically when they release things anyway. Typically is they have like, you know, 2 PRs a year, like big press releases, and typically one's in November. So it actually kind of works out and makes sense. So that would be cool if it was a positive one to make the stock move a little higher. So, all right, guys, that's all we got for you in this video. Let me know your comments below. Other than that, we will catch you in the next one.